Welcome back, everybody, to another episode here on the O'Shea Duke Jackson main channel. I'm so glad that you are watching today. For those of you who are watching live, sit back and enjoy. We have a really, really great show and a wonderful presenter. And for those of you who are watching the restream, sit back, kind of get you some chicken strips or whatever the hell you eating, and watch the show. Now, today I have a person who is no stranger to the O'Shea Duke Jackson network because this is the first time on our main channel that she's going to be here. But definitely from those of you who watch the panel discussions on my vlogcast channel, you watch the Sunday Rumble, everybody knows her, everybody loves her. As a nice young lady, Ericka Williams, and she has some really, really good information. She's very, very, very bright. You'll definitely learn something. A lot of people. She's a big, big fan favorite coming on my channel. I want to just introduce to some and present to others. Ericka Williams, how you doing, Sister Ericka?
What is up, everybody? This is Erika from the Classy Climb blog, coming over here to see O'Shea and all his folks. What is good?
Ericka, like I said, I'm a big fan of your channel, big fan of everything that you're doing. And like I said, I just, listen, I wish I had bad credit so I could have you fix it. But if I ever fuck it up, I'm going to come into you. And everybody loves Ericka. Ericka is just so real, so down to earth. But Ericka, before we kind of get started, for some of the people who are not necessarily new to your work on this main channel, tell us what the Classy Climb blog is about. What is your focus on that? What are you trying to achieve and help people out with your services on your blog?
So here's the crazy part. I would get in conversations with people and I would talk about investing. I would talk about buying rentals and just different concepts, and people would look at me like I was crazy, like they never heard that in their whole life. Now I would get around sometimes, like, I'll just be honest, some of my white friends, some of my Asian friends, and they would be like, oh yeah, we've been doing that for years, we've been investing like that for years. Like my father has been in an investment club for 20 years. But yet I would talk to black people and they're like, oh, there's no black people who do this, there's no black people who do that. And I'm like, that's a lie, right? And so I started the show kind of documenting my transition from being an apartment manager. I was assistant manager, which is a billings manager here in Texas. So I handled all the bills. Now, while I was in there, I saw a guy who was my age making $500,000 off our apartment complex building, doing what? Owning a painting company. And I just was like, yes, I gotta go. And so in the process of getting my real estate license and starting the painting company here in Austin, Texas, I was filming it, I was documenting it, and I was sharing things like, hey, a ton of my family are cops and police, military folks, and they invest in real estate on the side. They buy really cheap houses in Fayetteville. My one cousin has a house on every side of his mom. And people would be like, nah, you full of shit. Like, that is not real, no way. And I would show video, I showed document proof. And I just start talking to them about how our family started investing. And so it became just fun for me. It became really fun for me to share and talk with other people about. And the channel just grew and grew and grew. And so we do talk about credit and how to fix it. We do talk about investing. So I wrote a book called Smartphone Millionaire. I'm gonna grab it in a minute, but essentially, investing from your phone, right? Like, and I started testing these different apps years ago, right? So you can go back a few years on my channel and see where I'm talking about Torino.com. I'm talking about silver and gold and like all these different things. And people be like, yeah, I don't know. Well, now years later, when things are really becoming proof concept, like, Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and all these things are really blowing up, people are finding my old videos and still like commenting and like, yeah, and buying products and services. And so today's show I was talking about teaming up because of like the new ventures that kind of has opened the doors for me to do. Sorry for such a long answer, but that was the best answer.
Long answer, very good answer. You know what, Ericka, I before we kind of get into the topic, I watched a very, very good video. A lot of times I'm watching you, not on no stalker shit or anything like that. But I'm watching it. Sometimes I'm not in a position to, because you're gonna go live sporadically, and sometimes when if sometimes you're live like 30, 40, 45 minutes, or you're in the car or mobile. But you were talking about this particular Asian conglomerate that has like all these different supermarkets. And you're outside of it, I think, are going there at a particular time. And you mentioned how there's this new supermarket that's in your city, and there's a bunch of different Asian variety foods there, and how packed it is. And you were making the case, like, you see what the Asian community is doing with these kind of the new kind of grocery stores. Well, black people, hey, we need to get on the ball. I mean, talk about this Asian store, the grocery store that you're talking about. I don't want to mess it up because you explained it better than I did, but let's talk about that real quick before we get into the teaming up state.
So this was a part of the time when, remember, we had the whole nail salon incident happen, and everybody's like, yeah, black women need to create nail salons. We need to do this. And I started my blood was boiling. So I was driving over to this Asian store called the H Mart. Now, if many of you don't know, my father was born in Japan. So a lot of different foods were in our house. And at the end of the day, like, they're military. He's still a brown guy. He's not Asian. I know many of you are like, oh, he's Japanese. He's brown. Don't worry about it. But we had a lot of different foods in our house growing up, right? And we're military people, so we moved around. So I would go to these Asian stores to get the food. But sometimes when you go to the individual Asian stores, they're rude. And I won't do that. I won't deal with rude nail salon. I won't do with real stores. Well, here's this thing that's like the neutral ground. It's called the H Mart. So the H Mart has several different types of Asian food inside of it. Then on top of that, every aisle has all type of Asian products. So what happens is it's like a grocery store, and you don't deal with any of the attitude because it's not niched down for just their people. It's really generalized for Americans. And really, let's be honest, folks who have an Asian wife and they're a white man, or an Asian wife and they're a black dude, like, you feel comfortable going in this grocery store. And every time, like, my whole video while I'm doing it, I was like, you cannot beat the board. Don't try to beat people in their lane. Make your own lane. We do the videos on real estate and trucking. A lot of people complain, well, they're coming and regentrifying our neighborhoods. You've been living in that neighborhood all those years. You know what houses are vacant. You know what houses are tore down or raggedy or busted. Like my girl Nina, I put the links in the section for our, talk about her. She's a cousin Nina. We call her cousin Nina. But cousin Nina 1, I put it up there in the top. She's doing a wholesaling course, and she's out of Cleveland. And she's just making, blockbusters of money. You live in those neighborhoods. Why are other people coming outside of the neighborhood and telling you how to run it, or what's going on, or what houses are worth of value? Like, you have to get in your lane. And that's what that whole H Mart video is about. It's like, you can't beat the board. We're not going to outdo them in Korean stores, hair stores. We're not going to outdo them in nail salons, but you can get in your lane. Okay. So when we talk about trucking, many people Erika, I don't want to hear about trucking. Hush your rump up, and the crazy part is, I'm talking every day with people who own trucking companies, and more people of other cultures. There's a guy called Chiang Mai. He even asked me to come on his show. He is an Asian guy who's Asian got him into trucking in California, and they're just living big life. They're taking pictures. He's an owner operator. He's doing all this stuff. And it's like, here's this Asian guy who literally his whole show is talking about, people think the Asian stereotypes about him. Like, well, what are you doing driving? Why don't you go get a college degree? He's like, I got one. This is where the money at. They know where the money at, right? And so as you watch it, you're like, black people, come on now. We're not going to beat them at their game, but get in a lane and start dominating that lane. And another sad thing I come across too, when I talk to some of these owner operators that own trucks, they'll try to talk to young black guys who just started trucking, like, hey man, come work for me. I bought some extra trucks. You can just drive and you can make more money because you're going to get paid more miles per hour. And the guy be like, nah, bro. Like, can you just tell me what you did? So basically, you don't want to work for that other black guy. You want to be an apprentice under that black guy, but you just want him to tell you what he did so you can copy it. You a new trucker, like, chill, like, get up under him, learn. Have that extra income for a year or two, and then kind of move it up. But see, that's the problem. Nobody wants to team up to get bigger. They just want to I want to be my own boss, Erika. Okay, you got to have skills to be your own boss. And I'm not even on the tip of everybody should own a business. I'm like, everybody should have some ownership. They should own some things, but everybody ain't got to be a boss. So that's kind of what that H Mart video started as. And that's where I was going with it, because so many people were like, oh, you going in the store? You going in the Asian people store? I'm like, nah, it's a 26-year-old girl who's a half breed owning this store. She know what's up.
Is she what half Korean, half what?
Half Korean, half white. There's another one that owns, she's half Korean, half black, and hers is like a big dust up because she's in Houston. And you know how, I don't know if you know anything about Texas, but Houston and Dallas, the Korean folk and the black folk be tripping. They children go to the same school, but they be tripping. So, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, I'm trying to tell people, I'm like, the opportunity is here. Like I have a friend who's Chinese and he's married to an Egyptian girl. And so when people sit here and go, oh, you know, they don't deal with us, that's not true. Their kids are on a whole nother level. You know, there's an Asian and Pride channel on Instagram, which is really funny. And it's a Asian dude wearing a dashiki with this black girl at this event. And people are making fun of it, you know, and I laughed. I ain't gonna lie to you, I laughed.
Okay.
But it was like when Ling Ling tripping, get you a Shaquan, right? You know, and that's a big thing in California. That's a big thing in Houston. And so it's like, I don't want people to miss the bus because they sitting there like, I ain't working with them Asian people. I ain't teaming up with nobody. I'm gonna just do everything by myself. You're like, okay, bro, like, okay. Like I just shrugged my shoulders at that point. But that's all that video, all the comments, O'Shea, I know you didn't see the whole video, but all the comments were like, why you going in there? I'm like, come on, man, come on. They missed the whole point of the video. So
let me ask you this, and shout out to Brother Wayman Brown for the $2 super chat real quick. And guys who want to subscribe to Ericka Williams, her link is in the description. Many of you already know her, but for those of you who do not know her, go into the description. Her link is there, and we'll get the moderators to promote her. Let me ask a question that Brother Maurice super chatted. And shout out to Sinful to P. He's in here. I want to give some shout outs to my brother. He says, Ericka, what do you think about the Robinhood app? I don't even know what that is, but can you tell me what that is?
Okay, so the Robinhood app is a great app. A lot of Black people love that app. Now, I'm not just saying Black people, but white people love it too. The Robinhood app is coming into your phone right here, and it's an app, and essentially you can buy stocks, but instead of charging a commission fee, it's zero. So usually the barrier most people had is like, well, it's not on my phone, it's not easy. So a lot of times the commission fees would be $9, $5. So you had Trade King come along, try to lower it. You had other people come along. Robinhood, zero. Now they do get you on the backside if you want to pull money out. They're gonna get you a little bit on the fees there, but they got to make money. They're a company. Mm-hmm. But what ends up happening is they had this really great thing: share a stock, get a stock. And Black people ran wild with it, and I'm loving it. It was the best thing ever this summer, because what they would do is all these Black people be in these different groups, Facebook groups, saying, hey man, share this, you get a stock, I get a stock. So a lot of people would get these stocks and they'd be like, well, is this a good stock? I don't know. And that opened the door for you to teach them, like, hey, this is what this company does. This is how much company this money is making. Like, some people got a piece, some people got Apple stock, some people got crazy stocks, right? And the only person that got Apple stock, I think, was like Jermaine Ellis, because he's another YouTuber with like a ton of people who were sharing. So Robinhood just like hooked him up. But like most people got a really cheap stock, right? Most people got like a medical company or oil company or something that was significant, but they didn't know about it. And so Robinhood is a good app to start. You know, your girl's always going to recommend you do dividend stocks, just because I think a lot of people are not savvy enough to trade yet, or they're not in the groups to learn how to trade yet.
Let me ask you this real quick, Ericka, because let's talk about what, outside of the race, right? Because a lot of Blacks, and shout out to Brother Andre Hatchett, $2.99 super chat. Thank you, brother.
He's good people.
Very good people. Let me talk about teaming up, because a lot of people in our culture, we're used to doing things kind of by ourselves. We're kind of like kind of a tiger's mentality. Let's go over the issue of trust. A lot of times in African-American communities, we have a lot of talented people. A lot of people have a lot of good income, but we have a hard time trying to trust one another. So before you can even get to the investment part, it seems like to me that a lot of Black people trust other races more in terms of investing or even looking to do that. How do we know who are the right people to team up to do certain things just in the beginning before you even tackle a project that you want to do, in your opinion? And have you faced, people, not wanting to do things because there's a lack of trust?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I faced the fact that, okay, you're a woman, you're younger than me. What are you talking about? I don't know you. And then I had to reference my family, right? Or my uncles or something, which is crazy, but it's happened. Another thing is you gotta reach out and get in your networks. Here's the problem. I don't think that Black people are not willing to work with people, but I think is they don't have enough people in their Rolodex. Now, there's a really great book called The Power of Who. Like, I always give out a lot of books for people to read because they're like, I don't know about what she's saying. So Power of Who, go check that out. In the book, it says write down 150 people you know. Now, let's be really honest. If you write down 150 people you know and 50 of them is your cousins, you need to start over. Like, right? There's nothing wrong with knowing family. There's nothing wrong with having a large family, but you need to have people in that Rolodex that you can move up and down. A lot of times, not even just African Americans, but sometimes poorer people, they don't have enough people in their groups or who they even know to kind of move up or ask good questions to, right? So that's a big part of it, is getting people who you can talk back to. So prime example, I was about to get scammed out of Charlotte, North Carolina by this guy. I was going to buy this property with him. Something told me in my gut, homeboy too smooth. Homeboy too smooth. I know you're from New York. I ain't bashing New Yorkers, but they talk smooth. They talk fast. They be working that game. So I asked 3 other people in the Charlotte area. I'm not going to reveal their names to just be respectful. And they were like, no. Like, I'm not saying he's a scammer, but I know he be scamming. And it saved me. Like, to this day, like, those 3 people, like, if they ever want to do business with me, it don't matter. Like, if they need, and they have wealthy companies at this point in Charlotte, I'd be like, okay, here's some money. I'll work with you, because they saved me a headache in the beginning and they were willing to be truthful. And so, but I wouldn't have had that if I didn't have a Rolodex or reached out to advice to other people. And I think that's the problem. People, one, they aren't fully knowledgeable about something. It just sounds good, so they go with it. And 2, they don't have people to reach out to. So that's a long-winded circle answer, but yeah.
Let me ask this, and shout out to the people that are there watching. Shout out to Nyla, she's in there. Get the likes up, guys. And for those people, again, that want to subscribe to Ericka Williams, please do me a favor. Let's go ahead and get into the description. And moderators, go ahead and post her link there so that we can get people to subscribe. Let's talk about asking the right questions, because you talked about a lot of times, like a lot of my brothers, because I deal with a lot of black male content creators, a lot of black male community over here on this part of YouTube. A lot of our brothers are coming from poverty into first generation middle class. That's a big concern for a lot of our audience. And what are the questions that they should be asking? Because a lot of times, if you're not used to having money, you don't know, outside of the gut feeling, that somebody might be trying to get over on you, or somebody might be doing this or that. What are some of the right questions that people can ask so that they're not taken advantage of? Asking the right questions. You mentioned that. Can you give us some advice on that?
Okay, so success leaves clues, right? That's the true statement. So does failure, but success leaves clues. You can Google somebody before you even meet them. This is something I have a pet peeve with. If you're going to go to an event and there's 1 or 2 people you want to meet, just do a quick Google search. There's nothing wrong with that. Get in your phone and Google. I mean, you'll Google that Instagram model in a hot minute. So just Google this dude you're about to talk to, just to double check. And if you see something that might give you a little, you need to check. Now, one of the things you can ask is not necessarily, there was something that used to be popular, like, oh, can I speak to anybody? Can I see your testimonials? Well, we know now people make fake testimonials. They buy them. People have fake referrals. So your goal as a person is to see track record receipts, right? Like, okay, this is projects you worked on. Do you have pictures of the projects you worked on? Do you have pictures of the homes you own? Do you have rent rolls for me to see, right? And I'm talking the real estate side of it. But even when it comes to stock market, okay, is there a stock market portfolio you can show me before I invest with you? What are some receipts you can see? Now, we always have to admit it to where we're going. If somebody wants to sell you there, we're going to put it basic. If you're on Craigslist and you want to buy somebody's business and somebody's like, hey, I got this barbershop I'm trying to sell. I got, 8 dudes in here paying rent. Okay, where's the rent rolls? Where's the P&L? Like, I would never buy a business without seeing the P&L. Okay, profit and loss is P&L. QuickBooks is $10 a month. You can just tie it to your bank account and update it. Somebody can show you some receipts, right? So somebody from your panel Googled me, and I have over 10 LLCs. Really, I got 15. But the point is, one of them was not active. And he was like, well, I saw this one. You going to activate it? I was like, look at you. Right? Like, on one level, I was in my feelings, but I was like, well, make sure you go Google these other 7 that since you looking, go Google these other 7. So that's good business, though. Like, even in that moment, even though I was in my feelings, I was like, look at you, verifying that I say I am who I say I am.
Right.
Good. That's how it should be. Like, the complaint people have is black people don't do good business, and that's bullcrap. There's plenty of black people that do good business. There's plenty of millionaires that do medical supply companies and construction companies that you'll never even hear about. And y'all complaining about some fish restaurant. I don't want to hear that. But you have to ask questions for whatever venue you're trying to go through. Like people always want to buy somebody's business from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can just, they ain't got credit. They just want to, get a business from somebody that's already going. I put it on my site, buybizsell.com. I may be saying it wrong. Somebody in the comments, one of the moderators, check me, but it's buybizsell.com or bizbuysell.
I think it's like bizbuysell.
Yeah. So on that site, some people offer seller financing, and people go, well, I want to get this deal. Okay. First, ask them for their rent rolls, ask them for their lease, ask them for who are all their references, ask them for what banks they work with, ask them who are their client lists, right? Because if you buy a business, prime example, if you buy a business from somebody and they bounce and then all the customers leave because really the customers were tied to that guy, that happens. We have a friend, Roland, in North Carolina. He's Puerto Rican. He sold his plumbing company. Well, guess what happened? The client still called Roland. They don't care he's 65 and retired and moving slow. They want Roland. They don't want the new dude. They want Roland to come to their house and fix it for the low, and they give him cash. They don't care that Roland sold the whole company to somebody else. So what did that make that dude do? That dude had to go out and go get new customers. So stuff like that is what you have to be asking, because a lot of times I get that message a lot. Well, I want to buy this other dude's business. Okay, well, are people going to come to you now? Why would they come to you, right? So that's, I'm getting my Edward on, making it long.
No. It's a good thing. So, guys, let me shout out some of the people that are participating on Super Chat again. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, I know my brother Billy Rowe. I want to acknowledge him. I went to high school with him in Sacramento, and man, he was a hilarious guy. I'm gonna get him on the panel. And shout out to my brother Moses Jenkins. The two guys, man, they've been knowing him all my life. He has a question that he wants to mention and ask. And I want to give a shout out to Vernon9. Shout out to Andre Hatchett and to O'Shea. Does Andre have a YouTube channel?
Andre does have a YouTube channel. We're trying to get Andre to get his numbers up. We're going to get him out here. Andre Hatchett is the best behind the scenes man you'll ever meet in your life.
Andre, why you didn't reach out to me, man? I didn't know you had
I'm trying to get Andre in here. Andre, give this man your email.
Yeah, man. I knew you had a nice ass suit on. I mean, Negro, you got all that in there with that Easter suit on and didn't tell me.
Andre invested in real estate. He got a mobile notary company in New York. Been going, 15 years strong. He be helping other people. I just went on tour with him. I'm gonna go on another tour in Dallas, October 19th through the 21st. Like, Andre, good people. Like, and he's got a track record. Prime example. You want to find a track record? You can Google that dude.
Right. And the thing about it is, like, I know I put on my earlier today. I have no more collaborations I can do for the rest of this year. But for this brother, he's always supporting. He's always here. I like to see our brothers that are doing some talented things. I got to do my collaboration with Nyla and a lot of people. But, brothers, if you're doing good things, man, I want to talk to you. So just let me know. Eventually, I will definitely get you on exposure to the audience. But let me just ask some of these questions here real quick for you, Erika. Shit. Yeah. I got so juiced off of Andre's suit, man. I forgot what I was about to say.
Andre, yeah, he got those photos.
Yeah, man.
Hey, listen, there's another one that got a suit. Is Todd Milley, Charles Ogilvie, Todd Capital.
About him.
I'm gonna talk about him today. There's some good people out there now. They doing work. That's what I'm saying. You can Google these receipts on some of these folks.
Let me shout out this. K-Love, thank you for your super donation. Thank you so much. A real generic, my favorite discussion. Money, money, and money. Signing up for class in 2 weeks. Thank you, brother, for the thing. Somebody posted a super chat. Had nothing to do with this comment. I ain't gonna read it because it was stupid. But thank you anyway for your money. Billy Rowe, how do you address the check-to-check mentality before we're gonna go on to the other stuff? So, guy has this question addressing the check-to-check mentality. How would you answer that?
Okay, so how do we address check-to-check mentality? So first of all, it sounds like we might have a budget problem, right? And it is a mentality it's a poverty mentality, right? And I mean, you can talk to people about America right now, and some people will be like, we're in the best time ever. Donald Trump's the best damn president ever, And some people will be like, the sky is falling and I have no money. Well, 9 times out of 10, if you actually make people print out their bank statement, their debit card statement, and get them circling things, or using mint.com, mint.com will tell the truth on you. You could be lying, but mint.com gonna tell you the truth. Or if you use QuickBooks will, a lot of times I complain about my business, then I look at QuickBooks, it would be like, you a liar, you made good money, what you talking about? I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? You have to be tracking. And so that's the first problem, is usually people are not tracking. So they probably sometimes make more money than they think they do. 2, inflation is eating up their money. 3, taxes. Fix your W-4. 4, again, if you don't put away 10% for you, who will? Right? A lot of times people complain about the black church and other churches taking 10%. Oh, you so worried about the pastor 10%, where your 10% you don't invest it for yourself at? Okay, worry about yourself first. Okay, like, there's a lot of ways we can handle that. But a lot of times what you need to see is like, it's the tracking. It's called mind the gap. It's a term Forward Anything came up with, Paula Pants. And it's like, people don't mind the gap. So things go through, subscriptions, magazines, like, cigarettes and coffees and sodas. And so all of a sudden this person's complaining they don't have no money, but really they do.
Okay, let me do that, Brandon. I'm going to ask the question in a minute, but let me try to kind of get to this. Okay, so before I get to Brandon, those questions, here's another problem I see. A lot of brothers are coming up, and I know Brandon is between St. Louis and Memphis. He's also a truck driver. He's in a particular industry that he already knows right now, but here's the dilemma. Let's say he has money, he wants to invest in something like real estate or another industry. He doesn't know this industry. Okay, so how are we supposed to team up and invest on certain things like real estate? I know Dr. Meadows is really good at that, and other things. If number one, you're not familiar with the industry. For example, I'm not familiar with the trucking industry, and although I know a lot of guys who do have trucks or companies, I'll probably have some of the money to do it or whatever. I just don't know it, and I have these other people that may not know it. So talk about investing in industries that you're not familiar with. You don't know how you're going to get paid. How do you do that? Because that gives a lot of people, I think, cold feet.
Got you. Right. And first, I just want to give a shout out to the Dr. Deacon Eric P. talking about them Ravens. It hurt yesterday watching that. Anyway, I'm going to get back on the show. What I would say is, when it comes to that, truckers are in the best position. Truckers can listen to some of these people's podcasts and listen to some of these people's YouTube channels and know if they want to invest with them. Some of these truckers can, when they're in between, getting their rest on, they can Google some of these people. Now, prime example is why I made the show today. How do you know if you got the money, right? There's 3 things: money, credit. I'd say money, credit, and time. Now, why am I saying there are 3 different things? So some people be like, well, I got credit. That's the same as money. No. 2 different things. Money is, unfortunately, there's some people who make money off the books. They have yard sales, they have flea market sales, they do all kind of stuff off the books. So they got money, but they may not have credit and they may not have time, because they're changing time for money, right? Then you have some people who have credit, but no money, no time. What you need to do is figure out what your strength is. You know where you are. If your credit's shoddy, but you got money, and you got 20, 30, you can move, and I mean 20,000, or even 10,000, even 5,000, or you got time, you can move. You can get in there. You just have to figure out where you are in that equation. Now, let's say you're a trucker, you're short on time. You got some money, but you're short on time. And what you're looking for is easy ways to invest with others, right? Now, I would first recommend getting your own lane, right? Like, get another truck, have a driver drive that truck. I would recommend that first, right? If your credit's right and your money's right, get a second truck. But if you don't, let's say you say, no, Erika, I really want to get real estate. I would recommend groups like Tide Capital. They have a stock side and a real estate side. I recommend Hood Estates. They do tax deeds, which is different from me because I do tax liens. Tax deed is where you actually get the property in Jacksonville, Florida. Plus, they have really cheap properties in Jacksonville, Florida. They got a team of people down there. They got all the kids working. They got a whole staff. They got like 40 rentals under their belt. Okay, for you Northerners, Charm City. You got Charm City. They got like 18 properties before they became 30. A married couple, young. There are people specializing in areas you want to know about. Charm City knows about Baltimore. Hood Estates knows about Jacksonville. There are people and groups you can invest with, right? Black Seed Group. You got Money Mandu. He always comes on my show. He's Nigerian, so I don't know how to mess up his first name. but essentially he has a stock side and soon to have a real estate side out there in Houston. You know, these are just people I'm working with. I name people that I can vouch for. I don't just name strangers, but I name people I can vouch for. You know, Andre Hatchett and them working in Detroit. Asia Denton working in Detroit. You got to be able to have a track record with people, and they got to have a system, right? Because if you got the money, but you don't got that time, you need somebody who has a system per se.
Okay.
Like that you can just deploy.
Let's talk about, some of the projects as far as like teaming up to invest that you were working on as an example, so that our audience understands the power of networking with people and kind of getting over, certain issues or cold feet to, when you have the right people. Let's talk about some of the powerful things that you are able to accomplish, that you've been able to do personally. And then we'll kind of get into the real estate stuff. Let's just talk about that as far as your own testimony.
Okay, so first off, my painting company. I teamed up with a friend who was on he knew numbers, he knew construction, he knew buildings. I knew the online side. I knew what the apartment complexes needed to hear. I know the insurance. I bought the money for the leads. Like you have to have the strengths and weaknesses, right? So he was a man and he could talk to a lot of the mail contractors and get a lot of subs. And so therefore we were a team in the fact that I had money and I had time and I knew what to say and he knew at least, the drywall or the painting, that kind of thing. So that worked out great. So that was one of my first wins. Next win. So I bought with the Todd Capital Group. I bought I'm partial owner of 2 properties in Detroit. Okay. So with Asia, I'm going to buy some other properties in Detroit. Okay. So then in North Carolina, I teamed up with my family, bought 2 properties, partial owner in that one, right? Just me and one other cousin and my mom and one. So, and then I bought land lots when I was going through tax liens and tax deeds. I got 1 land lot in Florida. I got 1 land lot in Georgia, 1 land lot in South Carolina, 2 in North Carolina. I've got 2 pieces of land here in Texas. So some things are teamwork, but as you get better, you can start getting some things by yourself, but you got to be able to get in where you fit in per se and work in teams. And so in the future, I might be buying an apartment complex with a group, but we're not close enough yet to even talk about that. So.
Okay. So, let's I think I see the guy Charles Oglesby in the chat. So shout out to him. Look, let's talk about also some of the real estate opportunities that you wanted to talk about a little bit as well. Because Black people are not really, not that they don't know real estate. I know like people seen about the J. Morris Real Estate Fund, but let's talk about the real estate thing.
There's 20 other Black real estate funds. Even that I did a show on. There's 20 other, and they're all over. There's some in California, there's some in Silicon Valley, there's some in New York, there's some in Baltimore. There's even an 18-year-old Black kid who started a hedge fund from his bedroom because he learned coding when he was 16 and went out and pitched it.
Wow.
So there's other people like Jay Morrison just got the attention, and I'm not knocking him. He's doing a great job getting the attention, but I think Black people have this thing like, well, there's just one Boyce Watkins and one Ericka and one. No, there's a ton of us out here. And that's why I keep holding that book up on your show, The Disintegration of Black America. We are not connected as we used to be. Mm-hmm. There's a slew of Black people winning. There's a slew of Black people who are top 20% Black people and very wealthy. And there's a slew of middle-class Black people who are out there, who are doing it, who have small companies. It's just, we don't hear about them. They don't get as much traffic or fame or importance. Sorry, finish your question. No. I got a little passionate.
Let's talk about this whole thing. Yeah, because, one thing that I noticed that was a lot of African Americans that I see in other groups who are at least online entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs or anything is that they do courses a lot. Mm-hmm. They do go to conferences. Like I think next year I'm finally going to go to VidCon. Patreon has Patreon Con, and then I know there's a big thing that I'm definitely interested in. I wish I was still back in America, but I'm not. I'm living in Poland, as you know. These mastermind groups. Let's talk about the power of these mastermind groups that can benefit the African American male audience that I deal with. What is a mastermind group? In let's talk about your experience with them, if you can.
Okay, so I'm gonna give an example. I think most people here would recognize Jabril. He's a half African. Well, he's African dude who you see him everywhere. Like he's traveling all over. He's going to Bali. He's going to Thailand. He's going to Panama. He makes these really great videos, and he talks about Facebook and ads. Like, he does a ton of masterminds and meetups with people, other brown travelers, bloggers, and a lot of guys know him just because he just always has the hookup on the cheap flights and places to go. But that's an example of a mastermind. Yeah, they're all travel bloggers. Yeah, they're all fitness kind of, his brother's in fitness, but that's a type of mastermind, right? So here's another type, right? Like, let's say, prime example, something most people can try to connect with is RIA groups. RIA groups, REIA. You can go to RIA.com, type in your city, and find your city. There's going to be RIA groups people are meeting. And in those meetings, you'll find one or two people who are usually in the mastermind. Now, what are their mastermind usually be? From what my experience is, like, hey, let's all meet for pancakes on Wednesday morning, or let's all meet for brunch on Sunday.
Okay.
And it'll be a select few of guys, or girls sometimes are in them too, but mostly it'd be guys. I notice older men usually conglomerate. And they'll be like, hey, let's talk, let's talk, hang out with each other, but also let's talk business. And so usually there's some people lower and some people higher in those things. Now, those are more like organic masterminds from those events, but they are paid ones, right? So I'm going to FidCon this year, 2018. It's in Orlando, Florida. Now, FidCon, in that room, I already know there's going to be 5 or 6 people who are going to probably try to be like, hey, you should come join our mastermind. Hey, you should come join our mastermind. And it's going to be YouTubers and podcasters in the financial sphere. 30% of the speakers are Black this year who are talking, kicking butt Black people who are kicking butt in podcasting and YouTubing. But that's where it happens, at conferences, at places outside of your house. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen online. I can't say that I didn't like connect with O'Shea and all these different people online, but it's really powerful when you go outside your house and go to these events. So few people go to the conferences and the seminars that you meet top-notch people when you go, like people who are really doing it when you go. So those are examples of different ways to get in a mastermind. Like, I'm going to be in a mastermind retreat at a house, at a giant house, Airbnb, multiple bathrooms, multiple bedrooms, hot tub, pool in the back, with a group of people who are all hitters, right? They're hitters in their area, whether it's Detroit, Baltimore, Jacksonville, the West Coast, Dallas, DC. Like, they're going to be hitters in that house. It's going to be amazing. But the key here is you got to be doing something for people to recognize. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you got to be active. 1, for people to just invite you to random masterminds, and 2, seeking them, right? So when you go to these conferences and you're talking to people, you do mention it. You go, hey, I'm really looking to get in a mastermind with some people, like-minded people. That's pretty much how it starts.
Let me talk about the cost of some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, and thank you for all the new people that I see that are coming in. I think there's people from your group. These kind of like conferences, I know that they're not cheap. Some of them are like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, and a lot of people look at the price of what's being presented at the conference or certain things, and they're like, okay, it's like I gotta fly myself there, and it's like $1,500, it's $2,000. I mean, I really don't know about the price, but let's talk about the value that some of these conferences or things that may add value to, and how do you know which ones are good and which ones are bullshit?
Okay, so the RIA groups are local. They're in every city, every state of the United States almost. And the RIA group, I'll put it to you this way: 90% of RIA groups, you have the top 10% of your neighbor, your city, who are buying real estate, owning stuff, coming to those things. Why? They're looking for mentors. They're looking for people to apprentice on, people to raise up with them. And also, let's be really honest, O'Shea, when you become a business owner, you really start doing it. When you start hitting 150 a year, 200,000 a year, it's very lonely. It's a very isolated track. Like, there's a lot of doctors, lawyers, dentists, eye doctors, plumbers, high level, multiple staff plumbers who hit those numbers all the time. But I assure you, there's a lot of people not there, not at those numbers, not owning their own business or not even being in real estate by themselves. So they look for people to go in groups with. It's the facts. Like, I'm meeting people who are very wealthy, who you ask how many friends they got 1 or 2 or 3. And it's because they don't want to deal with people who want something from them. And 2, they're trying to get in a space where other people are. So that's why when people see the price line, they're like, oh, I ain't going. It's a miss out, right? So right now, the FidCon, the cheapest ticket was like $5.99. The most expensive ticket is way high. but they have a ticket where you have lunches and breakfasts. Now people are like, I'm not paying $300 extra for these breakfasts and lunches, but that's where you're going to meet those people at. You know what I'm saying? That's where you're really going to shake hands, talk with people, and be like, oh, I live in Texas too. Yeah, I live in Texas too. We should go meet and we should hang out and we should do this. I mean, right now, one of the young ladies, I messaged this couple for like a year, just positive comments under everything they were posting because they were really doing it. And all of a sudden, circle back around, we ended up working together. Posting comments on other people that live in other cities. We'll come to find out this one lady moved from DC to Fort Worth, connected with that lady. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's really it takes effort to connect with people, but when you start getting to a certain level, trying to bring your cousins up, trying to bring your family up, that's exhausting.
Say it again. Please say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Trying to reach down and bring your cousins up and bring your mama and daddy up and bring people up to where you are will wear you out. Mm-hmm. I just saw an article today of a son who shot his mom because she owned multiple hair salons. And she cut him off financially. And I was like, you just killed the goose that laid the golden egg. That didn't make any sense. And so she's sitting here trying to bring her son up to own his own barbershop because she owned multiple hair salons. And he mad with her. That wasn't enough. He just wanted cash. And I'm not saying everybody's going to end violently, but you are going to wear the momentum you have in your spirit and your energy to try to convince your family to get on board with what you're doing is exhausting. You're going to lose momentum in your business. There's a great book called Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. If you don't read that, I mean, I'll just put it this way. Every day you wake up, you sell yourself on something. You sell yourself on your job. You sell yourself on your car. You sell yourself on your wife. You sell yourself on your husband. If whoever's watching the channel, you sell yourself on that person because, well, I could be out there in the streets by myself. You sell yourself on that ideal. So if you got to sell yourself first, then you go over to your mama house and you got to sell her on it. Then you go out and you got to go make sales. You're exhausted. You're burnt out. You cannot do that. So it makes sense to get in these masterminds and these retreats and these groups where people are already like, I feel you. I understand you. Yes, connect immediately. Let's do that. Handshake. Hey, I got 15K. You got 15K. Let's go. It is hard to meet those people, and that's why people pay for those tickets.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, the 2,000 people I know that are going to FIG, I'm telling you, I can name drop people, but I don't need to. But like Nico Cherry, you got people, other financial people coming out of New York and Boston and DC and like Texas, and you got Black people with money coming, and they already gonna have a black happy hour. Okay, like they already like, we're doing a FidCon Black bloggers happy hour, which really means everybody Black up in this place. Let's go over here and hang out, right? Like, exactly. You're gonna miss an opportunity to get in. I mean, like, do you know how hard it is for people to have 10K? Like, I'm not even crap. I'm like, do you know how hard it is to be like, hey man, I got 10K, you got 10K, let's go buy this property. People be like, oh shit, man, I'm at the borrow off my credit cards, man. I'm at the 3 months where I can have 10K for you, brother. Right. Man, get me at tax time, man. I be having like $8 grand from my baby mama, man. Hit me up there. And you be like, but you was just out in Miami. You was just out in Dominican. Wait, you was just out, bro. See, you don't have time to sell somebody on that. You ain't got time to convince your cousin to put that 10K aside. You don't have time for that shit. You just don't. You don't have the time. And so even in my channel, I have people emailing me right now. I got a whole collage of emails. I'm putting them on a special real estate email list. Hey, I got 30K. Let's go. I'd be like, okay, first, brother, don't talk to me like that. Okay, don't talk to me. You got to tell me what you want to do with the money. You can't just send me an email and say, I got money, let's go. You have to determine, okay, are you loaning this money at a high interest rate? Are we JVing on a deal together? Am I working in your city? Because if you come to me with money, but you want to do something in Dallas, now I got to come to your city and help you determine if it's good for both of us. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to convince people to get even started to get extra money in their pocket. Right. I don't have time for that. Nobody has time for that. Hence, that's why masterminds are so awesome when you get in them. I've had YouTubers with 3x the channel subscribers I have. People with $75,000, $100,000, 100,000 subscribers email me and invite me into a mastermind. And when I got in there, I realized I was making more money than most of them.
Yeah.
And I have a very simple, rough concept channel, which if some of my subscribers are here, they'll hear me say it. I make about 9,000 or more a month off my channel. And I only got 14,000 subscribers. And I've got YouTubers contacting me with 60,000 people tomorrow. Hey, can you show me how to make a course? Can you show me how to make a book? Can you show me how to get started? Can you show me how to make money off all these subscribers? So you're already, there's people you're hitting a barrier with when you're trying to bring them up to your level. That doesn't make any sense.
No, that's definitely true. Definitely true. Let me do some shout outs real quick. And we got good. Thanks. Good to see Dr. Andal in here, emergency medicine physician out in New York. Good to see him.
You got Transparency Network, the Transparency Network in here, and Anala.
One of my favorite brothers is my medical mentor, because I know I'm trying to finish this medical program. If I can go ahead and get through these Negroes on YouTube, but now I'm gonna go ahead and do Dr. Kenyon Meadows. And I got to get him back on. And I think that's how did you guys meet on my channel?
I think I've been trying to message Mr. Meadows for a while, and I finally got him. I'm like, get that.
World famous.
You don't get on this channel. So now I have a thing called Investing with the Doctor on Thursdays, like whenever he's free. Yeah.
So that's how again, that's the power of networking. Like I believe he wanted to do a show on my channel, and then obviously he already knew about you. And you two hooked up, and that's the power of Black people working together. And we want to teach that to all of our people to do that. And he just donated $10. Masterminds are for the serious only. Great way to separate the truly committed from the casual. And I got to get my brother back on. He also said in the chat, what he told me was he paid $1,000 to go to Mastermind. Ended up meeting somebody there, made $50,000 at one of these Mastermind groups. So brothers, take heed to what, because the doctor would never lie. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this right now. So he would not he would not lie. Brother Brandon L out of St. Louis and Memphis, one of our trucker brothers, he asked a question. Erika, will the stock market crash this year, in your opinion?
So again, when I talk about, let's be really honest. Again, there's gonna be stratospheres in our economy. Now there are gonna be some people who are gonna be hurt, and there's gonna be some people trucking along. I'm here in Austin, Texas. Engineers are gonna be fine. Certain people are going to be just fine. Now, same thing with the stock market. There's going to be pockets of the stock market that'll be just fine. And I think that's going to probably be, I hate saying just dividend stocks. That's such a lazy answer, but that's part of the answer, dividend stocks, but also some things tied to oil and real estate will be just fine. Now, if it's tied to retail, like if it's a REIT, that's just commercial REIT, nah, I don't think so. I mean, here's the thing is, like, I was telling O'Shea a little bit earlier, some people, like when I drive around Austin and we have 157 people moving here a day, Dallas has 293 moving a day. When I go out to certain places, even the wealthier side of town, the restaurants and the retail is like dead. If it's not lunchtime or right at on the weekends, dead. Like there's a place over here called The Domain, and it's like outside indoor shopping in Austin, and it's slamming on Saturday and Sundays. And I've talked about this a lot on my channel. Who's there Saturday and Sundays? People in the comments know Saturday and Sundays is straight Asians and Indian with a dot. And they walking with bags, just bags. Everybody else is out there just kind of walking, eating ice cream, looking at stuff. So there's certain parts of our society who have money and can invest. And so do I think the stock market will completely fall? Not necessarily. It'll have a correction. But at the end of the day, some people are in there trying to trade and they're not a trader. I'll just say that. Some people up here trying to trade, and if you're not up on that game, don't hurt yourself. Because really, people put in their 401k and different things in the stock market were meant to be there for long term. But I don't want to get too far in that rabbit hole. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Look, let me ask you about this. I have the Transparency Network did a show with him when I was in South Africa about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, remember him. What should a young man who was broke? What could he do when it comes to partnering for investments? That's a pretty good question.
Hey, he got time. I mean, that's the number one. Okay, I hate to say it like that. Somebody gonna be like, "Well, no, I ain't got no time." You got time. Let's say you got time. You're broke. You ain't got no money. There are a lot of real estate people who are investors who need you to knock doors in certain neighborhoods. Okay, there's painting companies that need you to knock doors. Be like, "Hey, I see some of your paint is chipping here, ma'am. Would you love a free estimate? I can set it up for next week. You don't have to do it right now." Boom, name, address. I pay kids for that. That's a lead, right? Like if she says yes and we can come back That's a lead. Okay. If you're a young man and let's say you don't want to do things related to painting or construction, you want to do real estate stuff, you knock doors or you driving for dollars for vacant, raggedy houses, you write it down. Like I said, cousin Nita, I put her course in there, her link for her course in there because she give people, you ain't got to go check her course out. You can just go check out her Instagram. She be giving mad game all day over there. You know, she has such a vibrant system that she hasn't even been in Cleveland all year. And her system is like, because what happens is you have young people who don't have a lot of money, but they have time and they're willing to work and learn under people. There's a lot of opportunity for a young man that doesn't have money.
And I saw a video. I didn't watch it. But the title was called, the internships are gold.
They're gold.
Let's talk about that real quick because, you might not get paid during internships and things like that. But let's talk about that whole concept because I think that's a good video that maybe I'm going to go ahead and watch it. So let's talk about that if we can.
So I got really upset because I heard about 3 or 4 trucking guys who were like, yeah, I tried to reach out to these young black men to, come work under me. Let's build this big team up. Let's get it rocking. And they all were like, nah, bro, just tell me what you did so I can do what you do. And there's so many levels of experience that they're missing out on because everybody want to boss up, but you don't even know what you're doing. Like, learn a little bit, right? Everybody want to come out 19 knowing everything. That's not how that works, right? And the prime example I use for that is Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone got this white kid underneath him that came in. He won't get paid good at all, in my opinion. I'm like, that's a shame how much he was paying. I'm like, $2,500 in California. And the kid worked his ass off, sales, working his way up. Then he became leading, like shift leader. Then he became really serious over sales. And so he's making these huge commissions off Grant. And Grant's like, man, let me take you under my wing. Let me show you how to invest in these apartments. And that's a big reason why Grant Cardone is changing his stuff to you have different levels: accredited investor, sophisticated investor, unaccredited, right? Which is, it's a lot of people. But what happens is people like that young man learn so much on the job. Why would Jared want to go anywhere? He's a multimillionaire from working underneath that man. Not everybody's meant to create their own company, is what I've told a lot of people. Everybody can own something. Everybody can own a house. They can own some trucks. They can own some other stuff. They can own things all day and be working in a system, and that's fine. But that's where people lose it. People are like, no, I want to be my own boss, Erika. Well, be your own boss by owning rentals. Be your own boss by owning, other opportunities. But sometimes you may need to just learn under somebody. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's why companies don't want to hire young people. They don't want to intern people. They don't want to try to teach underneath them because for what? You know what I mean? It's like the incentive isn't there. I know plenty of young men right now who the reason they have their grass company, like one dude has a fence company and another has a grass cutting company here in Austin, and they make bank. It's because some old dude was tired. He was tired of doing fences. Other dude was tired of managing the cutting the grass. Like all his workers went from young black men to Hispanic men. He was like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. And eventually the one black kid that stayed on became the owner of that grass cutting company. Wow. The kid over here that's doing the fencing, old dude is tired. He threw his back out one summer. He's like, sir, I'll do all the projects. You just tell me how to do things, what I'm missing. Now they both are owners of those companies, because at some point what people don't understand is there's a lot of baby boomers that did do right, but they ready to go sit down. They ready to go sit down. They ain't trying to sit there and do all that over and over when they 70 years old. They ain't trying to do that. But you're missing those opportunities. So
let me do this. And guys, 169 people watching. Not enough likes on the video. Y'all know I'm crazy about likes. It goes to show you how many people are liking the video. And guys, I just got word. I've been talking to Phil from the Advice Show. I will be on Phil from the Advice Show tomorrow. I got 2 shows tomorrow. I'll be on. Yeah, Phil, my homeboy. So I'm
gonna go down to Houston and just roll up on him. What's up, Phil? No.
So I'll be on Phil from the Advice Show at prime time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So guys, go over there. I'll post it. Support me over there. And I'll be on Solo TV 84's channel tomorrow between 12 and 1 p.m. So guys, do me a favor, like the video, and I'm gonna give a hell of a show. Y'all know how I can get. So the only it's gonna be O'Shea Uncut. Now I'm trying to keep it clean a little bit. But let me ask this question that the brother said. Doyen, what about someone that has money but not much time? Okay, thank that, brother. I think you answered a little bit before, but let's support, brother. Go ahead.
Again, yeah. You first you need to say what kind of things do I want to own, right? What kind of things do I want to own? Do I want to own, like, there's a prime example. There's a really great business, like I think Dr. Meadows is looking to it. Storage units. Storage units is a really easy business to own where it's literally just a one person on staff all the time. I mean, there's franchises you can buy. Rentals have management teams. There's a lot of different things that person can own. They just have to decide, right? And let's say they say, Erica, I just ain't got no time. I need to partner with people. Well, you can pay somebody a little bit of a premium and they'll work with you. They'll help, they'll pick a bunch of properties. You can just choose from those properties and then they'll help set up a management company and they'll do all those things. I mean, trust me, there's every step of the way, there's somebody who can help you, but it ain't going to be for free, right? A lot of people will blow you up in your email. Like every day I'm getting like 100 emails like, I'm a single parent mom, can you give me this for free? No, you're not even willing to show me the sacrifice of like, if you just said, Erica, I just watched 40 year videos and I did all this stuff and now can you help me? I'm a single parent mom. I would be like, I'll think about it. But the fact is that you come with your hand out, people don't got time for that. So when you have money, you can afford a little bit to kind of scan a few people and put a little money like, hey, I need somebody who can help me do A, B, and C. Does that make sense?
Yes. And let me do this. Shout out to Brother Henry. Erica, keep dropping knowledge. Great topic, O'Shea. Thank you, Brother Henry. He be killing me in the comment sections. O'Shea, you did this wrong, brother. And another thing, shout out to that brother. He's a good brother. And my personal big bro, a guy who says a mentor to this whole sector we call the manosphere, would not be much when he's been great since he's been here. Man of Tomorrow, the most famous guy that doesn't have a YouTube channel. MOT. Shout out to Erica. Y'all need to listen to her channel. So shout out to our brother, man. He's been really trying to help Black men since he's been on this sector. Let me kind of get into certain aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a video of some Ugandan millionaires and billionaires. They had like a summit or whatever, and he was comparing Uganda to Kenya. The Kenyan people they meet up. They have more investment groups than the people in Uganda. And he was saying, well, why can't we do that? Let's talk about Black America, and we do know that there are talented people like you. I mean, there's brothers like Cam. There's brothers like, thank you, Brother Malik. There's brothers like Kenyon Meadows and stuff that are having these investment groups. And we do have Black people who are wanting to get involved, because I would think that we didn't have stuff like that. Brothers like Charles Ogilvy before I came to, YouTube and stuff like that. How can we get in contact or know our people, those African-American, that are doing these great things, and forming our own investment clubs or stuff like that around the country and networking with each other? What is a good way to go about that, to link up with other people that are, primarily Black, that are doing some of the same things that you're doing? So, and then also forming those other kind of coalitions where we live.
Okay, so first of all, it's a seek and you shall find thing, right? I'm a true believer in when the student's ready, the teacher appears. A lot of people on Instagram all day looking at hot women, when they could easily go hashtag investment, hashtag Black business owner, Black realtor, Black whatever, right? Like you can find people, but it has to be you wanting to find those people, correct? Right? Because a lot of times people are like, why aren't more Black people doing more stuff for people? Like I've heard people say it on your channel before, and it kind of irks my nerves, because I know people who are breaking their neck trying to give away free stuff and get nothing in return. Like I talked about the Dallas millionaire who literally, put on sports camps, and it's like you got to beat the mamas off to get the kids in the sport camp. Like, nah, we full. But when he wants to do a business camp where he's going to teach your kids skills about owning businesses, how to do accounting and bank book balancing, he couldn't get anybody. Like he had to really go call everybody on those previous lists from years before. Like, are you going to send your son to the camp? The camp is free to you. I feed your kid while he's here. I make sure he's taken care of. But they weren't interested in that. They were interested in the sports camp. You got a football camp? You got a basketball camp? So there's opportunities everywhere. I think people are not looking for them. That's one word. Two, people are expecting somebody to put it in their hand. You know what I mean? So.
Let's talk about that. And I think you made an excellent point. Lawrence Harmon, O'Shea and Erica, my favorite YouTubers. This is my first super chat ever. Thank you. That brother broke his super chat virginity over here. That's what I like to see. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. He says, O'Shea and Erica, my favorite YouTubers. Thank you for the support. Brother Andre Thomas, love the channel on the topic. Just a quick comment. If you're young, You have all the time in the world to know new skills to on your own, to network with mentors, seek knowledge, network, and build. Thank you so much, brother. Let's talk about this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Nyla is in the chat. Okay.
What's up, Nyla?
Have you watched Nyla's videos?
I haven't, but I ain't gonna lie.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. What's her content on? What is her content on? Double check me first.
I mean, it's gonna be a lot of niggas getting checked, and I'm gonna bring her on. You gonna see for yourself. I don't know if we gonna be able to leave it up, but I can tell you it's gonna be a lot of people watching. It's gonna be.
I see her commenting.
Yeah, she just had it. She's only on YouTube for like 2 months, and she got a channel up to like 11,000 subscribers, and they took it down, and she back kicking their ass again. But
hey, don't talk about Skynet like that.
You know what I'm saying is like
that's what we call them over here, Skynet.
in black YouTube. Oh, Moses, I'm gonna get to your questions after this. I'm sorry. Thank you, brother Doug. You know, in black YouTube, it's so much about what's going on in hip hop, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Who got their ass whooped? You know, a lot of entertainment and stuff like that. What do you think that the creators can do? I mean, do you think that our sectors don't do? I mean, I see people like, Phil from the Advice Show. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot more. Even though he's not a business channel, I've noticed he's been doing a lot more collaborations with what you can do, stuff like that. Do you think that Black YouTube, we can do more as far as, talking about the content to the people, letting people know the opportunities that are outside of just straight up entertainment and fuckery?
So it's got to be a mix. Apparently what I'm seeing is it's got to be a mix. People want to hear the silly stuff. Like they really do. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, and people who work hard, sometimes they come home and they want to hear silly stuff. So who am I to judge them? This is how they relax, right? So, but that can't be your 90% of your day. Like that can't be every day, because what you do every day is who you are, right? So prime example, be careful. If every day you say men ain't like, that's all you're going to draw to you, because that's all you keep saying, right? If you say women-ish, that's all you're going to draw to you. It's something about the energy and the mindset. So you can't look at crap all day and expect magic. That's just not. You can't do that. That doesn't make sense. So you have to, at some point, as a person, be looking for more, right? So it could, as a Black YouTube creator, you could. Now I see a lot of women who do, the hair shows, like the hair channels. They drop game. They go, hey, do you want to learn how I'm doing this? Do you want to see the links? Do you want to see how to do affiliate marketing? They do drop that good stuff. I noticed they do. I've seen a lot more do it. Same thing goes for, I've seen a lot of Black guys. Like there's a Black guy, he's going fast. He's got like 29,000 subscribers, and he's talking about Torino app. Now he's a young Black guy with 4 Camaros, and everybody like, look at that Black boy and all them Camaros, but he's renting all of them out on Torino.com. And people don't even know about that. So his whole channel is like, hey, I have these 4 cars, but what I do is I rent them all out on Torino.com, and I make like, $70 a day off each car. So there's stuff out there that can still be enjoyable, but what do you want? People can't force it down your throat. You know what I mean? Like, you come to their channel for silliness, they're going to give you the silliness, right?
Let me go back to Moses' question. Shout out to Moses. Yep. And thank you, Doug, for reminding me. You saw his question. Do you remember it?
Yeah. Why 11 separate LLCs? I made a note because I didn't want to ignore anybody who super chats. I respect that. People started doing that on my channel because of you. So I thank you. Why 11 separate LLCs? Because 1 or 2 were owned by the other person.
Well, let me read what he said.
One was combined. But go ahead.
He's a Morehouse graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Top of his class. So let me read it, because he likes it when he's be speaking on the streams and typing. He be having these elaborate questions. So let me read it as he would say it. Why 11 separate LLCs? Can you speak on how to structure and effectively manage multiple diverse business ventures and investments? Pound passive income stream. Shout out to Moses for
hashtag
very well spelled question and very articulate. Go ahead.
Okay, so imagine here. So imagine this is Target. And this is Target's. I'm not going to get too deep in holding companies because I know there are going to be so many people trying to correct me, but just hold with me. There's Target right here. Now, underneath Target is the division of Target. That's his marketing branch. Here's another division of Target that is this other branch. Sometimes people structure them that way. There's another way where imagine my friend, me and him are in an LLC together and we own the painting company.
Okay.
Well, that has nothing to do with my real estate over here that I got in an LLC with a family member. That has nothing to do with the real estate over here that I got with somebody else in a partnership. You don't want those things touching and combining. So if that house is in Memphis, Tennessee, I want that LLC in Memphis, Tennessee. I want it there. And if I'm lazy, I'll just make it the house address. I've seen a lot of lazy people do that. Because if something happens with that one house, whether it's insurance policies or anything, a fire, damage, I want them to only fight for what's in that LLC and what's in that bank account. All the bank deposits that go from that rental to that bank, that's tied up to that LLC. That's an oversimplification. But essentially, when you start doing partnerships with people, you're going to come into the fact of limited liability partnerships. There's a lot of people with multiple LLCs. Prime example, Stephen Lau, I talk about him a lot. He has 170 LLCs. Donald Trump has 659. Like, you as a smaller person may not need that many. You may put 2 or 3 rentals in one LLC, but that's up to you. Again, whenever people watch my channel, I say CYA, consult your attorney, consult your accountant, verify, trust, but verify, you know what I mean? You need to ask them if that's the best plan for you. Like I don't use LegalZoom. I use Rocket Lawyer. In Rocket Lawyer, they got a person right there call you, an actual real attorney. Hey, why are you doing this? Do you need this? What do you need this for? Like, just to double check to make sure you got it right. And so hence I use them. But I also have an actual real estate attorney in North Carolina. So, I mean, there's ways to structure things and manage things. It's just, what is that LLC's purpose? Right? Like, prime example, North Carolina, like when we went and opened our coffee shop, I had an LLC picked out. Well, the state of North Carolina says, well, you can't use the same doing business as name on the front door as the LLC. So I had to make up a second name to put DBA, doing business as. So every state has different reasons why you have to sometimes have more than one LLC or more than one reason. Stuff happens. But what else is a part of his question? How to manage multiple diverse business ventures and investments?
Yeah. It's talking about that because that is a good question. Yeah.
So I have on a great guy on my show, which I'll bring on more, Money Mandu. So Money Mandu, and his Ochine, his first name is Nigerian. I apologize. It's like Ochine. Money Mandu is what we call him. He has several different e-com stores. He has real estate. He also has the Black Seed Fund Group. He's another person I'm going to bring on more to talk about that. And really how you manage those things is good organization, good paperwork. Another thing is QuickBooks. Like I tell people, QuickBooks is so simple now that you can tie it to that bank debit card, to that bank. So every time a penny or a dollar comes from PayPal or Stripe or Amazon or wherever, it's going to go there, and I can update it and I can see it and I can print out a P&L any time of the day. Some of the first things I do in the morning is I check all my accounts. See if anything needs to be done. I see if I have new orders. And it takes me about an hour in the morning. That's what I do in the morning. All right. So how do you do diverse business structure? You need to have structure. And honestly, at some point you have to have help. That painting company thing would have never took off without my partner. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I know how to buy all the leads. I know who to talk to in the industry, but I needed someone who could connect with men. And like, if I'm let's be honest, if I as a woman tell some of the Hispanic guys, hey, I really need you to do this thing right here for me, we'll do split it 70-30. Oh no, Erika, maybe 80-20. Like just gonna keep haggling me because I'm a woman. Gonna keep haggling me even though I'm the one providing them the lead, right? I've had that happen. So when I put him there, he's an old country white dude from Texas. Hey, nah, this is what you're gonna get. This is how much you're getting paid. Oh, okay. No fight, none. So sometimes when it comes to business ventures, I know people hate hearing that. You might not be able to do everything on your own. That's again why we talk about masterminds and teamwork. Like, I don't know for Todd Capital, but we got a ton of people who are all working together to buy something, and it takes people, it takes staff. Everybody's got to play their part. Can't just be one person. So you might need to find Moses. You may need to have to hire somebody. You may also need an assistant. It doesn't necessarily be a partner, but it can be an assistant. If that helps.
No,
I know there's more to this question. I think it was about investments as well.
I think that was also tied to the same thing as well.
Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to investments, I do a printout. End of the month, I do a printout. Robinhood has I get emails from Robinhood when dividend comes in. I get an email from E-Trade when dividends come in. I have emails when it comes to, like, I can go right now and print off my Stripe for the month. I can print off PayPal for the month. I mean, really, the system, you have to create an operating system. And this is what I tell a lot of my YouTubers that watch my channel. Make a system. If something happened to you, God forbid, you broke a leg, you're in the hospital, in a coma, can somebody come into your office, open up a folder? I'm just giving an example. Open up a binder, and in that binder is everything they need to start your day. Write it for yourself, just to train yourself. Like, step 1, I go in and check the emails. Here's the passwords for the emails. Step 2, I call the phone, see if there's any voicemails. Boom, I call the phone back. Step 3, I check and send out new leads, whether it's Craigslist or it's HomeAdvisor or it's Painting Pros. I send out new leads. Step 4, I do this. Like, can somebody come in your office and really tell what you do in a day? Mm-hmm. And that's like the best thing I can tell people, because if you don't even know what you do all day, it's a mess. How are you going to keep up with it? How's somebody going to help you come into that? They can't come into a mess. So it's got to be organized enough that you know where the money coming, how much money's coming in. And if you needed an assistant, that person could come in. God forbid you're in the hospital, open it up. Boom, 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 boom. And there's insurance. So if somebody tries to rob you or do something wrong, there's employee insurance. There's a surety bond you can buy to protect you even there. So there's protection in multiple layers. It depends on what you need. What you need, Moses. Tell me what you need.
Is Moses still in there? And I check this. If you put a small percentage of your check into Robinhood every week, you'll have $1 million by age 65. I keep hearing people talk about that. I think Billy said the same thing.
So here's a number I like saying.
Go ahead.
$27. I already know somebody gonna come in there and check me. It's a few numbers off, but $27 a day for 1 year comes to $10,000. A lot of times to buy some of these rentals, people need about 10 grand as a down payment. And people every year, I just don't know how I'm gonna get this 10 grand, Eric. I don't know. $27 a day. When I worked as a waitress a long time ago in college, also when I worked at Papa John's delivering pizzas, there were people in there owning houses and paid off cars. And I was like, how the hell are they doing this? And they would be like, yo, if you save $27 a day in a year, you'll have 10,000. You'll be just fine. Like they had already in their mind rationalized that they weren't leaving Papa John's, or they weren't going to leave where they were working, the restaurant they were working. And they figured out a way to get to that number they needed. So, I mean, some people have to decide how bad do they really want it, right? So, I mean, it's like, what's the numbers you're looking for?
Let me shout out to A.O. DeVille. $10 super chat. Thank you so much. First generation African for Erika and her great information. $2 super chat. Let me. I guess want to talk about just again the power of like networking at its core, because a lot of us as Blacks, we don't. Let me just say this, because you make a great point, and I always talk about this almost every show. We don't think that Black people are doing great things because it's not advertised. I think a lot of African Americans think that, you know, Black people just ain't shit. So, and I mean, I joke around like, you know, you niggas ain't shit, but I really don't believe that.
Yeah, the news.
The news. But we don't understand that we have such a great spending power. We have such a talented, you know, people in our community that we don't like to try to, you know, network with each other, talk to people, and try to even build even kind of, you know, just friendly relationships. Because when I talk to you, Erika, you're very approachable. You're very reasonable. You have a super great personality, and you make it easy for someone to want to work with you. I get that with you know, I try to be like that, and people are just really attracted to do you because they like you. Let's talk about that, and where did you learn that skill to be so open, to be so willing to work with people, easy to get along with in order to do business? Let's talk about how, you know, how that's helped you, that attitude of being able to network with people to elevate your life.
I think a lot of it comes from like when you have a little bit of knowledge of self and you are from the South. I ain't gonna lie, when I meet New Yorkers, I'd be like, whew. When I meet certain California people, I'm like, whew, what's going on? But I think, you know, when I grew up in the South in North Carolina, When you walk past people, you spoke. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, like, and I think that is just such a thing to me. Like even here in Austin, Black people are 6%. Right now, most of the Black people live in Round Rock, Pflugerville, and Maynard. They just moved to the edges, right? And that's where the 20% is, right? They over there. And when I go to places, I'll speak, and they still be like, oh, oh, right? Like we in Texas, where Texans even speak, and some of these people here are like, and you're going, I know you probably spoke to 5 white ladies that just passed you. It takes nothing to speak. And I think there is this fear built into people. And I remember listening to this book, The Power of Subconscious Mind. Glenn Cameron talks about it a lot. There's a couple other books I read, but every single book said, everything you need is at the other hand of somebody else, right? People need people. Like there's so many different versions I can give you, but essentially, if you Zig Ziglar, if you give somebody what they want, you can get what you want. There's so many ways that people don't realize that the biggest part about being in America is people, right? Mm-hmm. Like dealing with people, interacting with people. Like when I moved, I'm at a very wealthy church. It's a mixed church. And when I went there, people were like, man, you just seem like a friendly person. You know, I can give you a job in my office. Just come on by. And a lot of times what happens is people are so in their self and in this like angry mode. It's like, bro, take it down 10 notches. Take it down 10 notches. Like it's not even necessary, right? Like I remember asking somebody, there's a guy making a joke about bonnets, women wearing bonnets. And I go, I just do your hair before you leave the house. Treat yourself like you love yourself, right? And it just opens doors for you. Like there's just been so many times I'm here in Austin and I'll just say hello to just a Black guy standing in line beside me. And he'll just turn around like, hey, how you doing? Like his whole vibe changed.
Right.
And I think it's because people go around so angry, right? Or people go around not speaking to each other. So I've seen that just personally in my life where I'll be in line and I'll just say something like, you know what, I really love your shoes. It just like the person just lights up. And I read this book once and it was saying that men, in comparison to women, get complimented like once a month. And it's usually related to work. So when I read that, you know, not just because I was looking to date, but like I was going out and just genuinely like, that's sad. So I would see if I saw some guy looking nice, I'm like, man, that's a nice suit. And then they would just light up like the day, you know what I mean? Like just light up. And, you know, there's just something about a little bit of kindness goes a long way. So
let me also read Andre Thomas, thank you for the follow on Super Chat. One of the greatest skills to learn is project management, especially in technology, construction, helps organize people, time, assets, etc. Mm-hmm. Brother, I would not disagree with that. Thank you for your support. Yeah. Let me also add. I
was gonna say Salesforce training is a big thing too. Cam talks about that a lot. Cameron Lee, that's always in here. He talks about that a lot.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of stuff, good things about Salesforce. I used Salesforce briefly with a job that I had before, but that was the only job I got fired. And then after that job, no, it's been really interesting. You know what I mean? Because I before I came to medical school in Poland, I was wanting to come to medical school, and then when I got fired from that job, that actually rushed the process, and right. I never, and I make more money now than the guy who fired me. So I want to thank
you
Mr. Urback. Thank you for firing me. I make more money than your ass now. Okay, so I appreciate you. You really helped the brother out, man. Hey, when I come back to SAC, hey, bro, dollar man, you owe me because I ain't gonna buy you that nice, motherfucker. But I'm just letting you know. Let me just add on to what you said. I was in sales for like 6 or 7 years, and I mean I don't sell any products now, but I mean one of the things that I do notice is a lot of us as Black people. I mean, you go around with, I mean, sometimes, a lot of times with this shitty attitude, and if people don't like you, what can you get? You know, you can't get nothing. Not women's phone numbers, not nothing. And you know what I mean? I think that's a lot of things that our people could really learn.
That energy, man.
Yeah, that negative ass energy. Go ahead.
Bad energy.
Yeah,
like good looking Black dude be like, whoa, bro, take that Jesus name, back that up. I don't know what's going on with you. Like, you angry. What's happening? I don't understand that. So, I mean, energy is a big thing. Attitude, how you carry yourself is a big thing. One of the things I was going to say, too, about, you know, teaming up to invest, I talk about LinkedIn. Like somebody has a comment about LLCs, I'm gonna ignore that. But I'm talking about LinkedIn. Like a lot of Black people act like, well, there's just no 6-figure jobs out here. And then you ask them if they're on LinkedIn. Nah. Okay, you specializing in Facebook, but not in LinkedIn. Come on, get your life together, right? Like, because LinkedIn, you got recruiters on there looking for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Right.
got people with jobs looking for you. Now, some of the best jobs you're going to find in some of these smaller companies where you get closer one-on-one with the vice president. But I feel like some people just want to go work at a big company where they can get lost in the noise and show up late. But if you really want to get out there and you really want to make 6 figures or make more income, because that's a big thing on my channel is making more money, LinkedIn is where it's at. Like I still get people messaging me about management jobs at apartments. I'm like, what? I mean, it's really, how do you get more investments? You start by making more money. How do you make more money? By being, one, connecting to more people, two, actually being where people are looking. Like when I talk about QuickBooks, LinkedIn, Salesforce, these are things that sometimes I'm in conversation with people and they look at me like I'm talking Spanish. Like, what? What are you talking about? So it's a really great spot to be in. But I'm glad that guy fired you because you wouldn't be here if you weren't before. Were you getting fired?
Yeah, no, that actually was, one of the best things. I had some money. I cashed out my 401k. I had I got accepted into this international program. I was like, yo, I'm going. And then here we are. It's changed my life. So,
All right.
but again, learning those skills of not being, trying to be honest, trying to be transparent with what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
knowing your market, knowing my niche market, like you said, staying in your lane. I definitely stay in mine. And I don't go too much, and then not being a shitty motherfucker. And I gotta call it like I see it. A lot of y'all are shitty with y'all attitudes, and can't work with people, and don't nobody want to fuck with you because of your bitch ass attitudes. And I try to tell y'all missing opportunities every day. People will want to work with you, but they can't work with you if you have that shitty ass attitude up. You can't network, you can't do anything. So take that plug out your ass and really make it easy. They have this list on Forbes countries that the easiest countries to do business with. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I like Forbes. I follow Forbes
They have
magazine.
this country list, and almost all, and it's funny, right? Almost every country that's the hardest to do business is guess where it's at?
Africa.
Black countries.
Everybody want a little bit of bribe money.
Take you the longest to do. I mean, it's just, but also I think it's the attitude. You know what I mean? A lot of us, we cut our own water off by not being, ready to do business, ready to get it, ready to be out with an opportunity, just in our minds, not necessarily with the money. But a lot of us are missing opportunities with just in the mindset, ready to be able to meet somebody. Hello, how are you doing? What do you do? This is my card. Go ahead.
Oh, I went to an event and people saw, if they saw this video, people know Max Maxwell did a surprise event in Houston. This man is making like $2 million. People came with the most basic questions that they could have Googled, right? That they weren't even ready to ask the right questions. And then there were men in the room. It was like 95% men in the room. And I have a list of motivated buyers. I'll say it that way. List of people who want to invest. List of people who got money. And I shook this brother's hand to talk to him, and he was just kind of like, And it wasn't until somebody else came up and was like, "Oh my God, Ericka Williams, what's up? Hey, how you doing?" Then his attitude changed. You at a real estate event, you don't know who's in the room and could be the answer to what you're looking for, but you kind of just shrugged your shoulder off on me because I guess you thought I was a woman, or I'm one of the 7 women in the room. Maybe I'm not important. Maybe I'm here with some man. Like, it's silly stuff like that. I didn't even want to work with the dude. And the brother was clean cut, had good business, but that attitude, I was like, you're at a real estate event. You don't know who in this room got money and could give you their money. Like, fix your face, bro. Like, immediately I was like, oh, okay. And then I immediately started talking to the next dude, and he tried to come back around and be nicer, but I was like, oh, you already done burnt your bridge with me, boo. You keep it moving. Like, I wouldn't recommend nobody to you. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, it's just being in the right place, but having the right attitude. Like, he's at a real estate event. Every guy in the room is either a wholesaler, got some money, or got some credit. Like, everybody in that room is here to do business. So why would you think I'm here just to shake your hand? Like, I'm here to do business as well. And so I'm not mentioning that guy's name, but he's in Houston, and I'm literally right now working with not one but two different couples in Houston to do future investments with. And he just missed his, you know what I'm saying? He just missed his opportunity just because I had a bad attitude. So it's one of those things.
Let me I definitely agree that at Brother Ab Zero 24, love it when I see my people chopping up good game. People, please take heed and such apply some of this stuff where you are able to your future self. Well, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. And guys, you know what? I'm not a specialist in this sort of content, but I tell you what, I know people who are like Erika, you know, Glenn and Cameron. So this is the reason why for our audience who need to hear some of these, you know, kind of just on the surface type of things, because I know we don't go into too much detail in deep detail, but you know, we bring our people who specialize in these things so that our audience can benefit off it too. Let me just real quick, Erika. Guys, let's get the likes up on the video. We have 134 people watching. If we can get more people liking the video on the live stream, that'd be great. And how many people can we get to subscribe to Erika in the chat? There's Doug right there. Do me a favor, go down to in the chat. You see that she is we're posting her link. Let's subscribe, hit the bell. She's always supporting all the time, like whether it's through super chat, whether it's through coming onto the panels. So this is the reason why I love to support her, because she's so supportive of what we're trying to do, and we definitely need to have our people, you know, winning, right? And we're trying to build this community of Black people who are talented, you know, that we can kind of connect. And you know, I trust Erika. You're in good hands. So, you know, if you have credit problems, a lot of you guys got a good. Let's talk about that credit repair show, Erika, that we did.
Somebody liked it. Somebody in here said they liked it. Thank you.
It was a great show. Let's talk about, I mean, how many people, you know, did you end up talking to, you know, after that show and stuff like that?
So I think it was like 80 people. I think 120 people went and checked the link. Maybe 80 people kind of floated into the channel, kind of conversated. But I did get a good solid, maybe 20, 30 of you who were like, yeah, I need to get my credit straight. So I was super excited for that. Because here's at the end of the day, a lot of people will be like, man, you don't need no credit. You get more money. You could just pay cash for everything, Erika. And at the end of the day, bumps its head. Even all these people out here trying to chase business credit and do all this stuff, like at some point you have to clean your own backyard up, right? Like there's so many people I meet who are salon owners and barber owners and people who want to have their own mechanic shop, but they can't even get the location because the people are like, well, shit, your personal credit bad. I don't care how much your business is making. I don't want you here, but that's their choice that you're trying to rent from their space. They can make that decision. And so at some point, a lot of times what happens is people think they can just go around bad credit. Now, can you live well with bad credit? Sure. I mean, if you call that living well, but your insurance rates are affected. If you're in the military, your clearances get affected. And somebody tried to correct me here tomorrow. If you're E7, only then do they check your credit. No, baby, they check your credit at every rank. Because it's a first indicator of trouble. It's the first indicator of somebody's about to do something stupid. It's the first indicator of a lot of things. And they check people's credit at every level. Trust. You ain't getting no star card as an E4 if your credit bad. Come on now. Just some stuff is stupid. It's super simple. It's just a big proponent. And it's also using it to your advantage, right? So a lot of Black people are like, well, I can't get no house because of this or that. My credit. Well, it's 580 is the lowest credit score they take. 580, like what's on your credit? To be below 580, that means you got some stuff you got to clean up. And even when I just say having 3 to 6 positive lines, people are like, okay, well, you got your car, you got your student loans, and mostly people have one credit card. So you keep those straight, there you go. But I mean, it was a good show. I really liked that show. I think people liked that one. So people commented that they liked it. So
you know what? It got almost 4,000 views, and I mean, for my channel, that's not a business channel. That was pretty good for me.
Mm-hmm.
No, because typically my channel is not about say business or fixing credit, but I think I had yelled at them the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So that y'all better show up, and we had almost 400 people in the live show. People were really good, and so it got a lot of replays and got a lot of listening minutes. So I was glad to do that. So guys, and we're gonna keep bringing Sister Erika over, as much as she can. She's been very busy. But is there anything else you want to tell the people tonight, Sister Erika, or anything I missed? Or
Oh man, I mean, there's so many good things when I come on your show. It's a lot of people who are ready to do stuff. What I do notice is a lot of the guys talk about making more money or doing different stuff or working together. So that's why I like your channel, because you really are, you bringing a lot of people together as far as management. Overall, like if you check out my channel, so coming up on my show, I will be doing a rehab show. I'm also have a friend, she's also doing a rehab show. We have a really great kid recording, young black guy, full-time. That's his full-time thing is video and photography, and going to be recording a rehab show in Detroit. So rehabbing a property there. So that'll be recorded. I'll be in FidCon in Orlando, which is FidCon 2018. It's a financial con. It's going to have like 2,000 plus people. You're going to see me do a bunch of lives from there, like quick questions, stuff like that while I'm on scene. And then I'll be at a mastermind retreat house, super big house, pool, hot tub. It's going to be fun. After that, now this is a big one. O'Shea, if we can get you over here, I'm going to the Marijuana Investment Conference in Las Vegas. November 14th to 16th. Now, I don't smoke weed. I'm not a weed smoker. Never been in my life. A lot of people laugh because I'm from a cop family or whatever. But like, I go because I want to learn more about investment opportunities. And what better place to be in a room full of people who stood out enough to make the company, and they need funding. Why? Because banks won't give them certain type of loans because of the business they're in. So if you got money, that's a good place to be, because some of the people need money. You can charge higher interest rates. Okay, on the flip side, some of those people need investors. You can put money over there. Right now, people laugh at Snoop Dogg. They think he's hilarious or whatever. He's a character. Like, Snoop Dogg has such a big company that 26 other rappers, he taught them how to invest in edibles and companies that do different things with marijuana. Right. So they got marijuana that, they got oils help you sleep. They got stuff put in coffee. They got all kind of stuff going. And so people think I'm going there like, oh, you're going to pot conference. I'm like, and here's the big thing, O'Shea. If you don't see what's happening, if you don't step out of your sphere and look around, they're not sending these Aunt Susie's and Aunt Becky's to jail for drugs. Now, the last 5 years, white women going to jail went up 50%. Black women went down 50%. Okay, so I guess black women we got to stay out of jail, but white women is going in there. Drug possession, meth, heroin. What they're trying to do, if you can't pay attention and see, as far as insurance companies, watch me. They're going to have medical marijuana be an option. Instead of you going to get these treatment centers that cost so much money and cost the insurance money, they're going to have medical marijuana. I saw a video of the day on Cheddar where they were driving an old people bus from a retirement home for people who are in pain, old people, of course, and their Medicare is getting cut back, to see edibles and liquids. Like, don't look at it as pot, old grandpa. Look at it as something to cure your pain. And that's where they're getting these old people. That's where they're getting these other people when they're showing videos where it's curing these little kids of epilepsy and all this other stuff. Like everybody gonna make money off pot except black people. That's just what it is. I mean, that's what I'm seeing right now. Everybody else is going to make big money, farmers, people growing hemp, these pharmaceutical companies, except black people. Right now, the power of pot is so strong. Marijuana is so strong. Look at Seattle. Seattle had a dirty cop that had 150 arrests under his book. So when they got rid of that dirty cop and all the court stuff went out, they took back the last 6 years of convictions for marijuana possession in Seattle.
Right.
That's how strong that's how much money that is bringing in that state, that they're like, let's let everybody, if you got locked up in the past 6 years, you're getting expunged. You're getting it expunged. It's coming off your record. So don't be out there still trying to sell mixtapes in the parking lot when you could be selling Spotify stuff. Don't be out there trying to sell when you can own the shop. There's a couple young black men that came to our show in Dallas with Andre and me and friends. They own grow houses legally, right? They own the land in the house. And like, people are missing this opportunity because they're like, well, I'll just wait for it to come to Georgia. I'll just wait for it to come to Virginia. I'll just wait for it to come to Florida. By the time it gets to your state, baby, you're not going to be in there. It's nothing going to be but big dogs. Just the big dogs investing. Just the big dogs owning the grow shops. Just the big dogs owning stuff. Same thing in Detroit right now. So many white people, bigger pockets, all of a sudden they're talking about Detroit. Come invest in Detroit. Now, I've been investing with a group in Detroit the past year and a half. I've been in Detroit, and every time I go there, it's nothing but New York Black people and California Black people investing, buying up everything. But the people that live in Detroit ain't doing nothing. Now they working,
Preach.
they working, but this is how they look at it. Like, I need my money now. JG Wentworth. I can go paint your house. I can go put bricks on your house. Okay, why didn't you go to the auction and get the $2,000 house? Why didn't you go to the auction and get the $10,000 house? You know people gonna rent here forever. People don't leave there. 88% of people live within 50 miles of their mother in the whole United States. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, those people are going to come back. Even the people that left, they're going to eventually come back. That just is what it is, right? So I didn't mean to get crazy long-winded, but I'm telling you, I'm seeing the trends and I'm talking about them on my show because I'm going to masterminds where there's really wealthy white people and they're like, we got to get in this marijuana stuff. How can we get in this marijuana? And you're in a room with a bunch of 60-year-old white men talking about investing in marijuana, and you're the only Black person there. It's like, well, shit. What are they seeing that I'm not? Do you see what I'm saying? You see, O'Shea, when I'm talking about these masterminds, what I see happening is there's a couple guys on YouTube who got in the group together and they started promoting all their stuff, and they have some of the biggest YouTube channels out there. There's a group of real estate people got together. They're buying up everything in a certain area. But when you talk to Black people, like, hey, let's get 10 of us together, and if we each give 1,000, we can get this house in Detroit. No, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, I need my money now. I need that 1,000 to be 5,000. I need that grand to flip it. You know, like this whole flipping thought is just like, I'm just telling you, O'Shea, I'm just trying to like, y'all, the change is coming. Are you going to be a part of it is really the true answer. You know what I mean? And we can, do all this other stuff, but that's the real, right? Like, if you want to invest in real estate, you got hood estates. I mean, they sitting there telling you how they own trucks, third-party logistics company. They giving you the game. Okay, you got Trucking Justin down there in Florida. You got all these people giving you the game, Black people that are wealthy, and people are like, you know what I'm saying? You got Todd Capital, you got Black Seed Fund Group. You got these groups of people who are like, hey, let's get 10 of us together and buy this deal. Contracts, legitimately limited liability partnerships, like actual paperwork, organized. I'm passionate about it. I'm very, very passionate about it because I see the future, and I see where, people complain about generational stuff like, oh, generationally, if your mama left you something, then blah, blah, blah. And that's just so lazy because we know so many Black people who inherited a house, they don't even take care of it, and then they sell it when taxes get behind. So we're not even talking about that. We're talking about you taking the opportunity in front of you to get in a group of people and go buy something. Get in a group of people and make a difference. I mean, I'm selling it hard, but it's just because I know that's what I'm doing. I'm talking about what I'm doing, and I'm passionate about it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Let me give a shout out to a few people on the super chat. Real quick, Wayman Brown, the legendary Wayman Brown. He's been on 2 shows here. Great writer. And that is Erika's reasonableness and structure is a part of what forward-thinking Black men value in Black women.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Wayne.
You see how eloquent that was?
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Well, we got some guys really bust out that SAT back in high school with that eloquent right, man.
I'm pleased that dictionary out.
Yeah, that boy said, well, forward thinking Black men. That's what I like to see about you brothers that are forward thinking. You brothers and Moses, they be asking some really good questions and stuff. Let me see anybody that I miss. Black Stilo ready for ATL 2019. Hope we talk about this. Yes, and the Negro Manosphere Con, we're gonna bring that out there. Like I said, no, there will not be no shooting the dice, no bathrooms, no, and no Hennessy brothers, y'all, because y'all know I don't want to get involved in it, because y'all know I might get in that dice game. But I'm just letting y'all know. We're gonna be out there. We're gonna have a good time. Again, I'm still working on the event. Like I said, it's the first one. It'll be free. Just want to get people to come out. Trying to get people to just come out and fellowship and everything like that. Have a few speakers.
That's gonna be lit. Y'all gotta make that private event. Make it private.
It's gonna be lit because I'm gonna be out there because I might have before I speak, because I gotta it's gonna be my event, so I gotta really say something. So I'm gonna have a fifth before I say something to y'all, because I'm just letting you know.
It's your event. You can do what you want.
Yeah, but it's gonna be good, man. I'm really excited about seeing all you guys. Anything else you want to add to what we've been talking about today?
Somebody had a great comment. D Wayne 2827. That show, talking about the credit show, kept me from sending a collection agency for Verizon $950. The next week, Verizon sent me a letter saying they'll take $500. There you go.
Wow. Okay.
Collections. I mean, that's a good show if you guys go back and check it out. But like, I think a lot of people are, they're on the right path. You know what I mean? If they watch this show or they watch this show later, they know what's up. So.
All right. So, okay, Osha, I'm getting you about a senior real tequila. So, guys, thank you so much. I think I got one more stream that I was supposed to do with Edward. So, guys, thank you so much, Erika. I really appreciate, you coming over here and talking to us. I know that you're a very busy person and doing so many different things. And, I appreciate
this video in a blog.
You said what?
I'm going to put this video in a blog on my channel.
Yeah, take it. And thank you so much. Thank you for everybody like Nyla. Hold on. You talked to shit. So yeah. So thank you so much for everybody, Nyla, all the moderators, things like that. So guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast, and go subscribe to Ericka Williams. And thanks again, Erika, for all that you do for us in this sector of YouTube. You are really, 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 really a charm, and we're so glad and lucky to have your expertise in sharing what you know with us.
All right, everybody. Thanks for letting me come on. It's Erika from the Classy Climb blog.
Peace.
Peace out.